Morning Year 2s, welcome back to Maths again today. Today we're going to be carrying on looking at our 2D shapes, those shapes that have two dimensions, remember, length and then width as well. Now yesterday we were counting these things on the shapes. Can anyone remember what they are called? They are sides of the shape. Now, I have two shapes on my board. You might know what they're called, rectangle and circle. I want you first just to look at my shapes on my board and think what is the same about them, what is different. What do you notice about these shapes? You might want to pause and have a chat or maybe continue with me. Now I notice with these shapes that they both have sides, or at least one side anyway. The rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. The circle, however, has one side. Now, as I touched those sides, did you notice what was different about the sides in each shape? Well, straight away, I can see the rectangle only has straight sides. However, that circle has a curved side, so they're a little bit different. Also, I can see that that rectangle has 4 corners. The circle doesn't have any corners. I'm going to add some more shapes in here and see if you can then have a look at what you notice next. Maybe you could name them as I put the shapes up. That is a triangle. This is it's a square, remember, not a diamond. It is a square because it has 4 sides and they are all equal in length. We've got this shape here. You might not know this one. It's a semicircle. Semi means half. This is half of a circle. And this one you won't know the name of just yet, but it is another 2D shape. We could still count, however, how many sides it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that it's a 5-sided shape. I will tell you, in fact, it is called a pentagon. Now, these are my shapes on the board. They all have sides. That's the thing that's the same about them. But I would like to try and sort these shapes into just 2 groups. Now, this is a bit of a challenge because every single shape there is different to one another. Have a little think. Maybe pause the video. How could we sort these into just 2 groups? Now, if I think about it, when we had just those 2 shapes earlier, we noticed that the rectangle had something that the circle didn't. Can you remember what the rectangle had that the circle didn't have? It had those things. These things we would often call corners. But in maths, especially when we're learning about 2D shapes, we call them vertices. Can you say that with me? Vertices. Fantastic. We can count how many vertices shapes have. The rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. How many vertices does it have? Thank you, 4. The circle has no vertices. What about the triangle? Well, the triangle has 1, 2, 3 vertices. We could count the vertices on all of these shapes. I wonder if there's a way we could group them now. Well, perhaps we could move all of these lovely shapes into a group together because they do have some vertices. They all have at least 1. And we could leave the circle on its own because it doesn't have any vertices at all. Do you like how I've sorted the shapes? These shapes all have vertices. Remember, vertices is that special name for the corners. They all have corners. The circle doesn't have any vertices. So this is one way I could have sorted the shapes today. But I'm actually going to move one of my shapes now. I'm going to put it over there. So there's a group of shapes on that side, and then there's a group of shapes over here. I will add a line on the page so you can see where my two groups are separated. Maybe you could discuss at home now, what do you notice about my two groups? What is different about each group? Hopefully you've noticed that this group of shapes has something in common with the sides. All of the sides on these shapes here are straight. These shapes over here, whilst this shape does have one straight side, both of these shapes actually have curved sides. There's actually a special name we can give to this group of shapes that does not have curved sides. I'm going to share with you my screen so you can see what Amira has been doing this morning. Now, Amira has sorted the shapes in the same way as I have. She has looked at these top set of shapes and she has told us they have a special name. They are called polygons. Can you say that word with me? Polygons. Thank you. And she said that this group of shapes here, these are not polygons. We might call them non-polygons. So maybe have a talk with someone at home. What could you tell me about polygons? If this group up here are called polygons and this group here are not polygons, what must a polygon be? Maybe pause and have a chat. What do you notice about the polygons? Now, looking at the shapes on the board here, I could do the same thing. I could call these shapes polygons because I sorted them in the same sort of way. I could call these non-polygons because they are not polygons. I notice that the polygons only have straight sides. So I could say any shape that is made up of only straight sides must be a polygon. And any shape that has at least one curved side is not a polygon. So any shape that has just straight sides is called a polygon. A polygon is a shape with only straight sides. Can you say that with me? A polygon is a shape with only straight sides. Great. So if a shape has any curved sides, it is not a polygon. I'm going to go back to showing you my screen so I can share with you what our learning objective is. Today, we are learning to be able to identify, remember that means to find or see, and then count the vertices in regular polygons. Now, we've learnt two words today. Vertices. Remember, vertices means the corners of the shape. Polygons, we've just said, is any shape that has only straight sides. Let's take a closer look at vertices. Now, here we have got a child telling us that this is a vertex of a square. And then we have Emma telling us the plural for vertex is vertices. So when we are looking at just one of those corners, we call it a vertex. One is a vertex. When we look at more than one, they are called vertices. We've learnt about singular words and plurals already during our home learning time. So looking at one vertex, more than one vertices. So the square has 4 vertices all together. Now I'm going to show you something on the screen again. So I'm going to bring you back so you can see me. We're going to have a look at what we were looking at yesterday. These are the shapes we had yesterday. And yesterday we noted down how many sides these shapes had. We had our square, our rectangle, and our triangle. Today, we're going to add some more information to them. They're vertices. Let's count the vertices of each shape. Remember, vertices means the corners, but we don't call them corners when we're talking about shape. We use that terminology, vertices. Let's count the vertices. One of them is a vertex. More than one of them vertices. Let's count them all up together. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has 4 vertices. Let's do the same for the rectangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for our triangle, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm going to point something out to you. I want to see what you notice. What can you see is important about this square? The square has the same number of sides as it does have vertices. It has 4 sides. It has 4 vertices. Oh, look, the rectangle also has 4 sides and then it has 4 vertices. The triangle we knew had 3 sides. It also has 3 vertices. What if a shape had a polygon, one of those shapes with just straight sides, had 7 sides? How many vertices do you think it will have? Yes, it's going to have 7. If I have a polygon, a shape with only straight sides, that has 10 sides, how many vertices is it going to have as well? It's going to have 10. So when we're looking at polygons, the number of sides a shape has is the same as the number of vertices it has. They will be equal to one another. I'm now going to show you what your workbook pages are going to look like for today. I'm going to start by doing our guided practice because this magpies your worksheet. So in the box, we have a polygon. Remember not to panic about that word. It just means a shape with only straight sides. What is this polygon called here, everybody? Now, this we know is a square. So in that first box, I'm writing the name of the polygon. Now let's count the vertices. Remember, these are the corners. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. Now we've just said when we're looking at a polygon, we know the number of sides will be the same, but let's just check and prove that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's have a look at the next one. Now I know that this is a 4-sided shape, but the sides are not equal in length. I think this is a rectangle. So rectangle goes in my first box. I'm going to count the number of vertices first. This is the vertices. I want you to show me you can find the vertices on your worksheets. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 vertices. Remember, our objective is to be able to identify the vertices. So by marking the vertices on your sheet today, you're showing me you can achieve the objective. And we know the number of sides in a polygon will be equal to the vertices, so it must also have 4 sides as well. So your workbook page today is just like that. Name the polygon, tell me how many vertices and how many sides it has. Please, can you show me where the vertices are on your shape? Remember, 3-sided shapes are triangles. 4-sided shapes could be a rectangle or a square, depending on the length of the sides. Then afterwards, you've got some shapes here. Just tell me how many vertices and how many sides those shapes have. So once you have had a go at your worksheet today, take a little picture, send it in to us, show off that you understand what those vertices are. Please try and make sure you do draw where the vertices are on the shape. So myself and Mr. Clutterbuck know you understand what vertices are. And then tomorrow, we will have a look at some more shape learning, moving our learning forward that little bit more. So go back, enjoy your worksheets. Remember, about 10 minutes. I think everyone could have a go at both pages today. They're quite simple at the moment still, but practice, try your hardest, be an aim high mountain goat, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye, Year 2s.